There are people who always seem to stay ahead. When life changes, they adapt. When others panic, they stay calm. When obstacles appear, they already have another path. They are not always the strongest. They are not always the smartest. But they are incredibly difficult to defeat. Why? Because they think differently. A master strategist understands one truth that most people ignore. Life is not won by reacting. Life is won by anticipating. Every great empire, every successful entrepreneur, every legendary military commander, every champion, shared one invisible weapon: strategic thinking. Strategy isn't about manipulating people. It's about understanding reality better than everyone else. It's about seeing patterns before they become obvious. It's about making today's choices while thinking about tomorrow's consequences. Most people spend their lives solving problems. Master strategists prevent problems before they exist. That difference changes everything. Today, you'll learn how to train your mind to think like someone who cannot easily be defeated. Not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. Most people lose before the competition even begins. Not because they're weak, because they're focused on the wrong battlefield. Imagine playing chess. Your opponent thinks only about the next move. You think 10 moves ahead. Who wins? Usually, the person who sees farther. Life works exactly the same way. The average person asks, "What do I want today?" The strategist asks, "What kind of life am I building 5 years from now?" One question creates temporary comfort. The other creates lasting power. Short-term thinking creates long-term pain. Long-term thinking creates short-term discipline and lifelong rewards. Every impulsive purchase, every emotional decision, every unnecessary argument, every wasted hour, feels small in the moment. But thousands of tiny decisions eventually become your destiny. Master strategists never judge a decision by today's emotions. They judge it by tomorrow's consequences. That's why they appear patient. They're not waiting because they're afraid. They're waiting because timing is part of strategy. Nature understands this. The tallest oak tree wasn't built overnight. The strongest mountain wasn't formed in a year. Everything powerful grows slowly. Yet people expect success after a few weeks. When it doesn't happen, they quit. Strategists understand delayed gratification. They plant seeds long before anyone notices the garden. While others chase attention. Strategists build value. While others seek comfort. Strategists build capability. While others celebrate early. Strategists continue preparing. The greatest victories often happen quietly. No applause. No audience. Just consistent preparation. When opportunity finally arrives, everyone calls it luck. It wasn't luck. It was preparation meeting timing. Remember this. Never sacrifice tomorrow to impress today. That single principle separates leaders from followers. A strategist who cannot control emotions is like a captain steering a ship during a storm with broken hands. No matter how beautiful the ship is, it will eventually crash. Emotion is powerful, but strategy is stronger. Anger feels powerful. Fear feels urgent. Excitement feels convincing. But feelings are temporary. Consequences are permanent. Every major mistake in history began with someone reacting emotionally instead of thinking strategically. An angry email, a reckless investment, a broken friendship, a ruined career. Often created in just 5 emotional minutes. Master strategists never allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. When pressure rises, they slow down. When everyone panics, they breathe. When others shout, they observe. Silence becomes their advantage. The loudest person in the room rarely has the clearest mind. Calmness creates clarity. Clarity creates better decisions. Better decisions create better lives. People often mistake emotional reactions for strength. True strength is restraint. Imagine a lion. It doesn't chase every animal. It doesn't roar all day. It waits, observes, calculates, then acts with precision. Humans should do the same. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every opportunity deserves attention. Not every battle deserves your energy. Master strategists conserve their energy for battles that truly matter. Every unnecessary argument steals focus. Every emotional distraction steals time. Every impulsive reaction gives someone else control over your mind. The strongest people are not impossible to anger. They simply refuse to become prisoners of emotion. Your emotions should inform you, never control you. Most people see isolated moments. Strategists see connected systems. Someone loses a job. Average thinking says, I'm unlucky. Strategic thinking asks, what system failed? Was it poor skill development? Weak networking? Changing technology? Lack of preparation? Every outcome has a system behind it. If you improve the system, results improve automatically. Imagine a tree with dying leaves. Most people paint the leaves green. Strategists fix the roots. They don't chase symptoms. They solve causes. Health is a system. Wealth is a system. Relationships are systems. Success is a system. The visible results are simply reflections of invisible habits. Want better finances? Don't chase more money first. Improve financial habits. Want confidence? Don't chase motivation. Build daily discipline. Want better relationships? Don't demand respect. Become someone worthy of trust. Systems remove dependence on motivation. Motivation disappears. Habits remain. Strategists love routines because routines reduce decision fatigue. Every decision consumes mental energy. When important habits become automatic, your brain becomes free to solve bigger problems. That's why successful people simplify small decisions. They create predictable systems. Predictable systems create predictable success. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. Master strategists understand one powerful truth. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. So if you want extraordinary results, build extraordinary systems. A master strategist knows something that most people never learn. Success is not only about making the right move. It is also about making the right move at the right time. Timing can turn an average decision into a brilliant one. Poor timing can turn a brilliant decision into a disaster. Think about a farmer. He may have the best seeds in the world. But if he plants them in the middle of winter, nothing grows. The seed was not the problem. The timing was. Life follows the same law. Many people fail because they rush. They want immediate success, immediate wealth, immediate recognition, immediate results. But nature has never rewarded impatience. Everything meaningful takes time. A strategist understands that waiting is not weakness. Waiting with preparation is power. There is a huge difference between standing still and preparing quietly. One person waits because they are afraid. Another waits because they are calculating. From the outside, both seem inactive. But inside, their minds are completely different. Master strategists constantly gather information. They observe trends. They study people. They watch patterns repeat. Then, when everyone else finally notices the opportunity, the strategist is already moving. That is why they often appear lucky. But luck is simply preparation meeting opportunity. Patience also protects you from emotional mistakes. How many people regret words spoken in anger? How many investors lose money because they panic? How many businesses fail because they expanded too quickly? Sometimes the smartest action is no action. Silence is often more powerful than noise. Stillness often creates clarity. The strongest people are comfortable waiting because they know that rushing rarely produces excellence. Ask yourself before every major decision, is this the right move? Then ask an even better question. Is this the right time? That second question alone can save years of regret. Remember this. Time is a weapon. Use it wisely. Strategy is never only about plans. It is about people. Every opportunity. Every partnership. Every conflict. Every negotiation. Every friendship involves human behavior. If you understand people, you gain an enormous advantage. Most people only hear words. Strategists watch actions. Words can lie. Actions rarely do. Someone may promise loyalty. But do they keep their commitments? Someone may say they support your dreams. But do they celebrate your success? Someone may claim honesty. But do they act honestly when nobody is watching? Character reveals itself through consistent behavior, not perfect speeches. One of the greatest strategic skills is observation. Observe how people treat waiters. Observe how they react under pressure. Observe how they handle disappointment. Observe how they speak about people who are not present. These small moments reveal big truths. Never rush to trust. Trust should be earned slowly. Because trust is expensive. Once broken, it is difficult to rebuild. Master strategists also understand themselves. They know their own weaknesses, their own blind spots, their own emotional triggers. Self-awareness is the foundation of strategic thinking. You cannot outsmart the world if you constantly deceive yourself. People often believe strategy means controlling others. Not true. The greatest strategist first learns to control themselves. Only then can they understand others. Another powerful habit is listening. Most conversations are competitions. Everyone wants to speak. Very few want to understand. Strategists ask questions. Then they listen carefully. People reveal more than they realize. Their fears, their ambitions, their insecurities, their values. Information is power, and listening is one of the easiest ways to gather it. Remember this. Speak less. Observe more. Understand deeply. Then act wisely. Failure destroys some people. It educates others. The difference is perspective. Most people experience failure and immediately ask, "Why me?" A strategist asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single question changes everything. Every mistake contains valuable information. Every setback exposes a weakness. Every disappointment reveals an opportunity for improvement. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is one of its greatest teachers. History proves this again and again. Inventors failed hundreds of times. Entrepreneurs lost fortunes before building empires. Athletes suffered painful defeats before becoming champions. Their victories were built on lessons learned from failure. Imagine two people. Both lose a business. The first blames the economy. The second studies every mistake. One repeats the same failure. The other becomes wiser. The event was identical. The response created two different futures. Strategists never waste pain. Pain is expensive. If you suffer but learn nothing, then the suffering was truly wasted. But if pain teaches wisdom, it becomes an investment. Every setback asks you one question. What will you become because of this? Will you become bitter? Or better? Victims search for excuses. Strategists search for lessons. That is why they continue growing while others remain trapped. Another important principle is detachment. Do not attach your identity to one outcome. You are not your latest failure. You are not your latest success. Both are temporary. Identity should be built on character, not circumstances. A calm mind can analyze mistakes objectively. An emotional mind cannot. So after every setback, pause. Write down 3 questions. What happened? Why did it happen? How will I prevent it next time? Those 3 questions can transform failure into wisdom. Remember, every defeat carries information. Collect enough information, and eventually defeat becomes impossible to repeat. By now, you've learned that becoming hard to defeat has very little to do with physical strength or natural talent. It has everything to do with how you think. A strategist sees farther, feels less panic, learns faster, and prepares longer than everyone else. But the journey isn't over. In the final part, you'll discover how to protect your energy like a great commander, build an unbreakable mindset, and become the kind of person who remains calm, focused, and impossible to overcome, no matter what life throws your way.